Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Monday Night Raw and Superstars results for last week. And here we go with some wrestling news around the world. Dark main event matches advertised for Raw were shown as CM Punk versus Curtis Axel and Paul Heyman in a handicap match, and Rob Van Dam, Mark Henry, and Big Show versus The Shield in a six-man tag. Former pro wrestler Phil LaFon turned 52 years old. Happy birthday, Phil, as he was born September 16, 1961. LaFon teamed with Doug Furnas for many years. He retired in 2005 due to nagging injuries. WWE personality Teddy Long, real name Theodore Robert Rufus Long, turned 66 years old on Sunday, September 15th. He was born in the year of 1947. Long began working as a referee in the NWA promotion of Jim Crockett in 1985, and then later went to WCW. Eventually became a heel manager, if you don't remember who they were. Ring of Honor wrestler Rhett Titus, a.k.a. Everett Titus, turns 26 on Saturday, September 15th. He was born in 1987, the year I graduated high school. Maurice Maddog Vachon turned 84 on Saturday. He was born September 14th, 1929. Vachon was a fixture in the AWA promotion, and his prosthetic leg put him back in the spotlight years later when it was used as a weapon during the Shawn Michaels vs. Diesel match at WWE In Your House 7. Vachon was inducted into WWE Hall of Fame in 2010 by Pat Patterson. A 30-minute UWF show aired on ESPN Classic at 10:30, and it had Luna Vachon and the Black Hearts were listed as appearing. A block of the Global Supercard Wrestling appeared on ESPN Classic at 11 p.m. and it ran until 5 a.m. Again, no results posted. George Krajagin II attended Monday's Raw in Cleveland, Ohio, and sent the following report on the WWE Superstars taping. Match number 1, Santino Marella defeated JTG with a Cobra. Match number 2, Kofi Kingston defeated Drew McIntyre. Kingston won with a kick to the head. That also knocked Jinder Mahal off the ring apron. Kick to the head, well, I guess that's the Trouble of Paradise. And Raw on the USA Network, aired live from Cleveland, Ohio, from the Quicken Loans Arena. Show opened with a video that featured footage of Daniel Bryan celebrating his WWE Championship win at Night of Champions. Ring announcer Justin Roberts introduced Daniel Bryan as the new WWE Champion. Bryan made his entrance. The live crowd was in big time yes mode. Bryan stood in the middle of the ring with a mic in hand and stopped to soak up the cheers and the Daniel Bryan chant. "You guys are awesome," as Bryan tells the hot crowd. He said there were a lot of things he wanted to say, but he thinks that the thing that is said best is yes, yes, yes. Well, Triple H's music interferes his celebration. As Michael Cole, Jerry Lawler, and JBL checked in on commentary, as well as Hunter walking to the ring wearing a suit. Hunter said he needed to address the 800-pound gorilla that was on Daniel's back. That was actually sitting in the room, he said. He said that was social media, the fans, and the talent we're talking about. Too bad the broadcast team didn't talk about it during the pay-per-view. I guess they wanted the oblivious members of the pay-per-view viewing audience to end the night happy. Triple H called out the referee Scott Armstrong to address the fast count. Well, during the Raw, well, I was guessing he was going to get fired, and I was right. After Armstrong joined them in the ring, Hunter showed footage of Armstrong's normal count cadence, and then showed the fast count, and he showed it at the end of the match, and footage aired of Bryan drilling Orton with a running knee and Armstrong making a fast count. Hunter had the production team show it many times, simultaneously on split screen, then asked Armstrong to explain himself. So, it was a fast count. I don't know, Armstrong replied. Hunter mocked his response. Armstrong said he made a mistake. Hunter pushed him for more explanation, but Armstrong once again pleaded the fifth, made a mistake. Triple H said he's known Armstrong for 15 years and he's never seen him make such a mistake. He said he had a feeling that Armstrong wasn't telling him the whole story. Armstrong looked at Brian and said, "They got us, Daniel." Brian acted obvious or oblivious. "What are you talking about?" asked Brian. Triple H sent Armstrong backstage. "Daniel, I'm ashamed of you," Hunter told Brian. He accused him of convincing Armstrong to make a fast count so that he could become WWE Champion. Triple H said he had no choice but to hold the WWE Championship in abeyance, and I'm not going to return the WWE Championship to Randy Orton, but Daniel Bryan, as of this moment, you're no longer the WWE Champion. The crowd booed, and Bryan protested. Hunter said he understands that Bryan is upset. He said he would continue to investigate further, but there was no WWE Champion. Hunter asked him to hand over the WWE Championship. Bryan told him, "No way." Hunter said that Bryan has embarrassed himself, disgraced himself, and the WWE Championship. "I would have thought Shawn Michaels taught you better than this," as Hunter said. Hand over to me the WWE Championship belt, or I will take it from you." As Randy Orton's music played and he headed to the ring, Hunter once again insisted that Bryan hand over the title, or he would take it from him. Bryan looked at the WWE Championship, then looked to the crowd as they chanted, "No!" Bryan yelled "No" at Hunter, who tried to take the belt. Meanwhile, Orton hits Bryan with an RKO that dropped him, and Triple H grabbed the title belt and headed backstage. As they go to commercial, first off, Vince McMahon is probably reminding Triple H that a belt is something that holds your pants up. It's also a title belt, but good luck convincing him of that. Anyway, what a difference a hot crowd makes. We all expected Hunter to take the title away tonight, and the storyline and the product felt flat coming off the pay-per-view as the live crowd's passion. The response that doesn't fix all the problems, but it sure made this angle feel a lot more relevant. Backstage, as Hunter was talking to Stephanie about Scott Armstrong, when Randy Orton entered the picture and demanded his title be returned to him. Stephanie McMahon confronted him and chewed him out. She said he deserved to lose. She questioned what happened to Orton, who had no morality or remorse. She said that until he finds that Orton, they may have to find a new face of WWE. As Stephanie walks away, "That's the guy we're looking for," Hunter told Orton. Match number 1, U.S. Champion Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler in a non-title match, as Ambrose applies an early sleeper hold, which Ziggler broke with a jawbreaker. Ambrose came back by whipping Ziggler into the corner. Ziggler flipped over the ropes and to the floor, heading into the break. A commercial break. Ambrose remained on the offense coming out of the break and performed a superplex for a 2 count. And don't forget, you can catch the commercial action on the app. Ziggler came back with a strong DDT at 8 minutes 25 seconds. Ziggler drop kicked Ambrose, then splashed him in the corner before throwing 10 punches at him. A short time later, Dolph dropped the 10 elbows. "You're not going to like this, Dean," Lawler said. JBL labeled the sequence a heart stopper. Ambrose came back with a spine buster for a 2 count at 10 minutes in. He set up for the finisher, but Ziggler avoided it and caught him with a zigzag for the win. And Ziggler pinned Ambrose in the non-title match in 11 minutes 10 seconds. But for those who didn't listen to the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast with Jerry the King Lawler, the King expressed his belief that the stiff Ziggler elbows caused his heart attack. Ziggler celebrated the win at ringside, perhaps with family since he's from the area. A good televised match, and the live crowd continues to be hot. Backstage, Brad Maddox and Big Show stood silently until Maddox said Triple H and Miss McMahon would be there shortly. As they go to commercial, Maddox confirms that Hunter wanted Daniel Bryan to face Roman Reigns on Raw. Stephanie stared a hole in Big Show. Maddox told Stephanie that Dusty Rhodes had arrived. Stephanie told Big Show that he was to sit down in the office and stay out of trouble. She said she would call him if needed. The announcer spoke about the CM Punk, Paul Heyman, and Curtis Axel match as shots aired from the pay-per-view match. They noted that Ryback attacked Punk and helped Heyman win the match. The announcers questioned why Ryback got involved and whether Heyman knew anything about it. They said they would find out later. Fandango and Summer Rae made their entrance for their match. As Coleslaw and Fandango would be in action after the break. R-Truth makes his entrance as JBL sang the What's Up lines on commentary. Low lights aired of the god-awful dance contest from Friday SmackDown. Match number 2, Fandango with Summer Rae versus R-Truth. Truth was in offense early, but he missed a scissors kick and Fandango ended up taking control. Fandango caught Truth with a kick and followed up with a top rope leg drop for the win. To me, that was nothing but a squash match. One move over with 3 minutes 25 seconds. And there wasn't much to the match. The live crowd was hot for Truth's entrance, but they were quiet for the first time all night during the actual match. Backstage segment with Dusty Rhodes was surrounded by the primetime players Ricardo Rodriguez, Booker T, Natalya, and Hornswoggle. As they go to commercial, a commercial aired for the new Triple H DVD that comes out this past Tuesday. Highlights aired from last week of Randy Orton defeating Goldust. Dusty Rhodes' music played and he received a nice reaction as he headed to the ring. Rhodes dressed in a suit, kept a serious face, and waved quickly to the crowd. A loud Dusty chant broke out, and Rhodes gave them a quick smile. I appreciate that, but I'm not here as the American Dream tonight. As Dusty says, I'm here as Virgil Runnels, his real name. And I want the McMahons to hear what I have to say. Dusty said that the McMahons never went down the bad road, whereas he has. He spoke about not being able to pay a light bill for a rental car, or a mortgage, or to have someone cut the lawn. He said you reach down for your children and find a way to do it. Is a person really struggling when you're trying to scrape up money to pay for a rental car or a lawn service? Has the Dream lost touch with common man problems? Dusty recapped what's happened with Cody and Goldust. He called for Stephanie McMahon, Stephanie the Best, to drag her long legs out here and get with it. Stephanie's music played and she clapped as she walked to the ring with a big smile on her face. Stephanie said she could relate to what Virgil has, or as a fellow parent. She said Cody's wedding just took place and she presented him with a gift card. Dusty mocked that it was from Bed Bath & Beyond and said that's where Cody and his bride were registered. Yeah, I've already posted, yeah, they were registered. She said she could offer Dusty's son his job back. Dusty agreed and started to leave, but she told him he had to choose which son would get the job. Swerve! Dusty didn't want to make the choice and yelled at Stephanie not to interrupt them. Stephanie said Dusty could give the job to Cody, the son who did everything right, or Goldust, the son that neglected all those years while they were on the road. Dusty asked how Steph's daughter was doing. She said, fine, but it's not about that. Stephanie accused Dusty of making this all about himself, like he always does. Dusty got in Steph's face and told her to go straight to hell. Well, I'm sorry you feel that way, Steph said. As the Shield's music plays, Shield members surrounded the ring. She told them to hold on for a second because it didn't seem fair. Stephanie called for Big Show to join them. She walked to the ring. Stephanie said that since Dusty couldn't decide which one of his sons would get the job, he would decide whether he wanted to be dismembered by the Shield or get knocked out by a Big Show. Stephanie noted that Dusty couldn't make up his mind, so she ordered Show to knock him out. Show said he couldn't do it. Fine, Shield, get him, Stephanie said. Show stepped forward and yelled. The Shield members stood there with chairs while Show agonized. She hugged Dusty and apologized to him and said he had to do it. Joe punched Dusty and then grabbed him and lowered him to the ground. Stephanie and the Shield headed backstage. Joe knelt over Rhodes, and a trainer entered the ring as if Rhodes could hear him. He called for the crew to mobilize Rhodes and get him out of the ring. Stephanie came across as the most heelish person in the company at that point. Even Triple H seemed tame by comparison. She's really doing a hell of a job now. Dusty delivered a good Dusty promo, though I could have done without all the shoot stuff with the real names. I just don't think it was necessary, and I don't think anyone was fooled into thinking it was real because real names were used. After the commercial break, Dusty was stretchered into an ambulance, and in match number 3, Naomi, Cameron, and Brie Bella versus Layla, Alicia Fox, and Oksana. AJ Lee and Natalya both sat on commentary. Brie pinned Oksana to win the match for her team. Afterwards, Natalya got in the face with AJ, who held up her title belt. Naomi, Cameron, and Brie defeated Layla, Alicia Fox, and Oksana in 3 minutes. The Miz and Brad Maddox were shown talking backstage as they go to commercial. After commercial, announcers recap Big Show punching out Dusty Rhodes back live. Coleslaw says Rhodes is a 68-year-old man. JBL said he was simply defending his son. Highlights there to Damien Sandow winning the Money in the Bank match. Match number 4, RVD with Ricardo versus Damien Sandow. Ricardo delivered the personal ring introduction for RVD again. Van Dam dominated with a signature offense until Sandow lifted his knees on the Rolling Thunder, and RVD came right back with a couple of kicks and finished off Sandow with a 5-star frog smash. And RVD won the squash match in 2 minutes 35 seconds. Winning the SmackDown version of the Money in the Bank match seems to guarantee the winner nothing but misery until they finally cash in. There was a production mistake as they accidentally played Sandow's music afterwards before switching to RVD's music. Sandow also did his usual bit of proclaiming himself the next World Heavyweight Champion. You're welcome. Coleslaw announced Randy Orton versus Miz for after the break as they noted that they were in Miz's hometown. As they go to commercial, the announcer spoke at ringside. Backstage, Scott Armstrong tried to talk to Triple H about what happened earlier. Hunter said it's a problem that he had to hold the WWE Championship in abeyance, meaning he stripped him of the title. He said that the WWE officials have to have integrity. He said Armstrong has been loyal and he will give him a great severance package, but he has to let him go. Whenever Armstrong tried to talk, Hunter told him that he would have taken care of him. So Hunter had to prevent Armstrong from talking because he didn't want Armstrong talking about how he put him up to making the fast count at Night of Champions. By the way, I'll fast count the F out of anyone for a nice severance package. I have no shame. The ring introduction for the Orton versus Miz took place. Miz receives a strong hometown reaction. He went to ringside and hugged his mom and dad, only to be attacked by Orton. Don't turn your back on the rattlesnake. I mean, not the rattlesnake, the Viper. Randy ran Miz into the ring steps and then threw a series of punches at him while Miz's parents watched with concerned looks on their faces. Deep down, even Miz's mom and dad want to cheer for him getting his ass kicked. Pretty sure that Miz's dad was a roadie for Judas Priest back in the day, but I could be wrong. Miz was selling a shoulder injury. He had determined look on his face. Coleslaw said Miz was blowing off the referees who were attempting to get him backstage to get his shoulder examined. Well, match number 5 actually didn't even happen. And they were both counted out, supposedly. And it took 1:45 seconds for all that melee. Of course, after the match, Orton brought Miz over by his parents and fought back and clotheslined Orton over the barricade. Orton fought back and ended up performing the draping DDT off the barricade right in front of Miz's parents. Orton took Miz inside the ring and placed his head inside of a chair and then dropped his knee on it as they go to commercial. If Miz's parents actually liked their son, they would have at least pushed his legs off the barricade rather than watching Orton perform the hanging DDT on him. I'll bet they would have done that if it wasn't for the shitfest dance contest that aired on SmackDown. I want to go bar hopping with Miz's dad. Now that I have that out of the way, it was a good angle and a solid follow-up to Steph encouraging Randy to regain the eye of the tiger, or whatever the hell he was missing. Was I the only person hoping that Orton would put the exclamation point on this by seducing Mrs. Mom? Still shots aired from Night of Champions of Ryback helping Paul Heyman defeat CM Punk. Ryback's music played and he walked onto the stage. Curtis Axel wheeled Paul Heyman out in a wheelchair, shook his hand, and headed backstage. Heyman, who was clean-shaven, introduced himself as the best in the world. Heyman told the fans to boo that all they want, but he gets that envy is one of the 7 deadly sins, and everyone knows how many heathens there are in Cleveland. And then Heyman said it must be hard for the fans to compare their insignificant accomplishments to the things that he's achieved in his life. I pinned CM Punk, Heyman said slowly. Heyman said he would like to take the credit for having a master plan, but he didn't have one. Heyman said that Punk had him dead to rights when he gave him the beating, that he was so heinous that he's confined to a wheelchair. Heyman said Punk gave him perhaps the most vicious beating in WWE history. He said it's a miracle that he's not a vegetable rotting away in a nursing home. Heyman said he appears before the fans because one man took the initiative to change history. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here tonight and will continue to torment each and every one of you because of the actions of this big, beautiful man right here. And he actually gave him a big kiss. I want you to know from the bottom of my heart, I owe my life to you, Ryback. To Ryback. Ryback took the mic and said that if here's one thing that he can't stand, it's a bully. He said, Punk bullied Heyman. You're a human being, Paul, Ryback said. He added that he doesn't like Punk because he's a bully, and said he was there to stop him. Ryback knelt down and Heyman told Heyman that he never has to worry about anything again because Punk will never put his hands on him. Heyman leaned in and kissed Ryback on the cheek. Ryback stood up and yelled, Ryback rules! With a starry-eyed love look in his eyes. What's the over-under on the number of weeks until Heyman goes flying off the stage in a wheelchair? Good fun and good heat. Heyman looking lovingly at Ryback was hilarious, and the kiss on the cheek was a riot. I haven't been that excited to watch a man kiss another man since Friday night. Never mind. The latest Los Matadors Vignette aired. They're still coming soon. Match number 6, Real Americans versus the Uso Brothers versus Tons of Funk. Seems like another rematch for the future WWE Tag Team Championship match. Jerry the King noted that the Browns running back Trent Richardson was seated behind them and is married to a cousin of the Usos. I would bitch about his fantasy performance so far this season, but I'm not going to rattle that cage when he's playing against the Vikings on Sunday. That was over this weekend. Anyway, Cesaro rolled up 10 tight to eliminate Tons of Funk in 4 minutes 30 seconds. And then they go to commercial. Things aren't going well for Tons of Funk. They've been on a losing streak at the end of 2 elimination matches in 2 nights. And the Funk and Axel don't even accompany them to ringside anymore. Wow. After a commercial break, fans are chanting, "This is awesome." They show footage of Cesaro using the big swing, and the announcers pimped the app. The crowd chanted JBL as the match continued. Stopped to do We the People and then chanted for Jerry the King Lawler. The Usos went on offense with Flurry and performed a simultaneous dive over the top rope onto Cesaro and Swagger at ringside. Back inside the ring, Swagger applied the ankle lock, but one of the Uso brothers kicked him off and tagged him with a super kick. The other Uso went to the top rope and Cesaro tried to cut him off, but the other Uso took care of him. Then Swagger recovered and suplexed the Uso off the top rope, only to have the other one perform a top rope splash on Swagger for the win. So the Uso brothers beat the Real Americans and Tons of Funk in 13 minutes 10 seconds to earn a future WWE Tag Title shot. Good action. Once it was down to the Usos versus Real Americans, the Usos are pretty cool until their post-match dance routine starts. I have no idea who that is supposed to appeal to. Lawler said that all of Dusty Rhodes' vital signs checked out. Cole saw hypes Bryan versus Roman Reigns match, then sets up a video for a reading celebration that took place earlier at a local elementary school, and that are going to try to break a record on October 3rd for the most kids reading the same book. I was the type of kid who would have taken part in an attempt to set the record. Let them celebrate that we broke it by one kid, then inform the Guinness people that I was only pretending to read the book, so the record wasn't actually broken. Highlights aired of Dusty Rhodes being placed on the stretcher. JBL said Dusty was there to defend his sons, not to fight. Lawler said Dusty would be held overnight for observation. Backstage segment, Daniel Bryan was wished luck by a bunch of babyface wrestlers. As he walked through the backstage area, Brie Bella stopped him and hugged him. As they go to commercial, and there it is. Get ready for Hunter and Stephanie to start messing with Brie Bella to get to Daniel Bryan. Match number 7, Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns with Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Randy Orton. Before the match, Orton headed to ringside and spoke with Rollins and Ambrose. As the match got underway, Bryan caught Reigns with a series of kicks to start and targeted his left knee. Orton took a seat next to the announcer's table, but didn't put a headset on. Bryan caught Rollins in a leg lock, then leaned forward and threw a series of forearm shots. Reigns came back with a clothesline to the back of Bryan's neck and was in control for the next few minutes. Bryan tripped up Reigns in the corner and then kicked the middle turnbuckle into his face. Bryan went up top and performed a missile drop kick, then followed up with a suicide dive as Reigns struggled to catch him, but powered him up and drove him into the ring apron and threw him into the barricade as they go to commercial. After the commercial, Reigns put Bryan on the ropes for a superplex, but Bryan countered and fired punches into his protective vest. Or gut to break it up. Later, Reigns came back with a twisting slam for a 2 count. Bryan made his comeback and threw a series of kicks to that worthless protective vest. He kicked and missed on the last one, and Reigns slammed him down for a 2 count. Reigns sets up for the powerbomb, but Bryan flipped him over and rolled him up for a 2 count. Bryan caught Reigns with a kick and got another 2 count. Bryan kicked the other Shield members, but ran into a clothesline from Reigns. When Reigns reached down to pick him up, Bryan put him in an orgasm lock. Randy Orton ran in to break it up for the disqualification, and the match took 18 minutes 15 seconds. After the match, Orton and the Shield ganged up on Bryan and put the boots to him. Orton went to ringside and grabbed a chair. He wrapped the chair around Bryan's face, just as he did to Miz. How awesome would it be if Miz's dad ran in here after not saving a son? The Usos, Kofi Kingston, RVD, the primetime player, Dolph Ziggler, and Zack Ryder, Jessica Gabriel, R-Truth, and the others ran out for the save. The Shield members took finishing moves from various babyfaces. Bryan ended up giving Seth Rollins the running knee, then led everyone into the big Borgasm yes chants. It's about damn time someone stood up to a Triple H and company. Granted, I would have had one guy be the first to help give that person some momentum rather than just going with everyone. But at least they finally gave the babyfaces their balls back. By the way, Orton headed for the hills before the babyfaces ran out, so he went untouched. Overall, this was a good follow-up to Night of Champions, thanks in large to the hot live crowd, making everything feel more over than it did on the pay-per-view. I am surprised that they didn't kick off the hype for WWE Battleground since it's now less than 3 weeks away. And that ends my Raw video. Thanks again. Peace out.